Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout 3. Now I'm going to warn immediately here that my RAM in my computer are 2 sticks of 4 sticks in total. Pay attention to this image that's on the screen right now because there are no robot horses, and why would it be $16,000 in 2077? Sorry, got distracted there. Also, if US annexes Canada in 2072, look at the map. US apparently hadn't annexed anything else. Maybe Mexico. uh, yeah, I guess maybe Mexico was included there. So maybe up until 2072 the US had been just expanding further and further into South America, Central America, which is believable. um, but yeah, so uh, two sticks of my RAM I had to remove. I think one of them is alright. One of them is definitely not alright. The computer will not even boot with it. I am 95% sure it is the RAM. The only other thing is that it could have been the motherboard, and frankly, it's a little weird that everything else would work on the motherboard and then just specific RAM sticks wouldn't. Um, I've been through all kinds of IT diagnosing that I won't bore you with, but yeah. So instead of my usual 64 gigabytes of RAM, of which really you only need maybe 8 to 16 for Fallout 3, before that, after that point, I don't think Fallout 3 could even use it. I wouldn't even be surprised if Fallout 3 really isn't even using more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. Um, Even building a brand new computer today, having 64 gigabytes of RAM is a luxury to open a whole bunch of Chrome tabs, and that's about it. You can do fine at 32. I would not go less than 16, but if you could get twice as fast at 16 versus 32, you probably would want to do that. Um, but yeah, because of that, if there is some other instability and this crashes while I'm recording, that would suck. So we want to be a little careful. Um, and as such, I'm going to make a special save or two just so that we know where to go back if these recordings start disappearing. Alright, so we now have the dog with us. And in VATS, shooting a super mutant master, the dog did nothing. He's now going. Let's see. We almost should just let him fight it. Alright, where are we going now? If we look at dog meat, he looks fine. And he does seem like he can just kill them all. Let's let dog meat kill him. Did that give us XP? So there's just like no reason to have a companion with you unless you're just really struggling, which really highlights that you should have had a companion with you at the beginning of the gameplay, not at the end of the gameplay. It's funny it says metal spoon, because there must be like a wooden spoon item too. Let's see. And dog meat is, imagine, regenerating health, at least at some slow rate. You wouldn't want to have to manage his health. And I could see where dog meat might have been useful if these metros and dungeons had been a little bit more varied. But you can see also there is a pretty high chance of accidentally targeting dog meat. Like, so you'd have to be kind of careful about that. And then we're picking up dog meat, and the dog companion is named Dog Meat.
What was that?
It's a little weird to have super mutants in a metro, but not that weird. I should say also, in the process of getting fiddly with my computer, I decided to update all the drivers and caused a nightmare as far as my setup. Yeah, you can also see how dog meat teleports and does not handle going up and down stairs very well. I wouldn't be surprised if even my character doesn't actually go up and down stairs very well. Yeah, almost certainly at some point there was going to be the idea of a horse to move around the overworld a little bit faster. It seems, yeah, you can see how your steps are not really connecting. But dog meat is way worse than humans on two legs. Yeah, I definitely imagine that there was a scenario where they were going to try and have a horse. And right, so eastbound station, let's see if this leads anywhere at all. It's just a dead body. Yeah, one mine could potentially very easily kill dog meat. That certainly is something to think about too. Since we got that puppies park, we kind of want to use the puppies park now, so I'm almost not going to be upset if I did accidentally kill him. Still have this horrible cough that I bet I still have it by the time we are completely done with Fallout 3. Nothing special in there. The $16,000 idea is interesting too, because then that does open up a question of just inflation and deflation over the course of 100 years. Where it has been mostly is like, I think when the NES, for comparison, came out, it was selling for like $220, $250, which, because of deflation of the value of the dollar by 2022 prices, is really closer to $600. So the NES was actually more expensive. That being said, there is also much more as far as games and toys that can be bought, and just items in general that can be bought. Yeah, dog meat is now missing completely. He's already gone. Dog meat is fighting a Mirelurk King over here, which is better than to just find out that he had it's better than finding out that he had just blown up, I guess. But problem now also is you dry fire, and potentially a gun with a scatter shot like this might hit dog meat when you weren't even trying. We've got all kinds of visual glitches going on. And I just launched this app. I could have theoretically had radiation water here. Interesting. This might have been a great way to have more mirelurks in the game. I could have had 48 gigs instead of 32 gigs in my computer, but that too was not running very stably. Like, motherboards, or at least my motherboard, is not designed to have two dual channel paired sticks of RAM and then one single channel paired sticks of RAM. So if one goes bad, you effectively can't use either of them. And now I'm on the weekend as I'm recording this, and I'm hoping that I'll actually get a replacement sent in. The RAM is only from 2000, but who knows if they only have like 1 year warranties or aren't going to honor warranties. This is interesting, just floating here. On top of which, this is not an item that you can pick up, so there's really not good reason for this to have any physics and be floating in the first place. I feel like there's just some visual there that was supposed to have loaded in, and it didn't. So the dog just walks through the radiation water too, which we have to just assume that dog meat is not getting irradiated, because if he is, then he would just constantly get irradiated until he died from that. This guy's not even aiming at me fast enough. They have such a slow wind up on their attack. It's laughable. We haven't fought a lot of Mirelurk Kings, but that's pretty much all we're fighting now. These would have been, I assume, Mirelurk, regular Mirelurks or Mirelurk Warriors up until this point. And there is a kind of distinct difference between Mirelurk Kings and regular Mirelurks, and that regular Mirelurks were these high HP heavy hitters that were unarmed and would run and attack you, and Mirelurk Kings don't seem like they will run and attack you. Let's see, if we get right up into this guy, he's not even gonna try anything. Like, his only attack is to do that projectile sonic blast. So it almost feels like they had just gotten tired of potentially fighting unarmed characters that would run up and attack you, and the high HP more than likely is what they're really tired of, the high HP of the regular Mirelurks. So they drastically changed what the Mirelurks stand for and what they are. See, this guy will rush you and headbutt you. This is kind of a rough pathway that you have to jump up in a game where you really don't have to jump up any other time. And those Mirelurks are giving me 6 compared to Mirelurk Kings, which are giving me 28 as far as XP. Although at this point, XP is going to very quickly stop mattering. My hope is that this takes us to Tacoma Park. I'm fairly certain it does. Although, following this example, a hunter gave me 14. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to Tacoma Park and find it overflooded with mirelurks. Egg in the toilet. See, and this would be potentially something that dog meat could do. His health is still at max. Is he could run to all these clutches and attack them and take the items out of them. He could pick up items that are dropped. He could be a lot more helpful as a companion character, considering how many systems this game has implemented and how much of it is just busy work. A companion could feel really useful if they reduced some of the busy work, but I suppose at a certain level you're creating a catch-22 where they've made busy work in the game that they themselves don't want to really admit as busy work. The Bethesda, I'm sure, doesn't want to admit it was busy work, although the players certainly, or at least I certainly feel like it's busy work. And so there's this thought, certainly, that optimization would be helpful. I think in a lot of cases, though, all RPGs have that same problem where they add a lot of systems and optimization always would be helpful. And sometimes they'll throw you a bone and let you optimize a little bit, but not that much. Alright, so we're in Tacoma Park. For the most part, it does not look like a park. We buy nifty thrifts. That if the guy's shooting missiles or nukes at you, the dog, let's see, dog meat still. Like, this is super dangerous, and maybe that's what they were going for. Interesting. I was bumped up, so like, even if I have particularly good damage resistance, you're getting crippled, certainly, by... You're definitely getting crippled by these. Wow. Alright. Let's see. Back to refilling our health. And then dog meat. It's not proving himself very useful, but he is managing to not get exploded. I think that's the missile rocket launcher guy. Nope. This is kind of a great example of where the Mysterious Stranger perk is not useful. Didn't do any damage to him at all. There we go. And that definitely felt like that wanted to be a big scripted event. And that felt almost like a scripted event. Here you have a big knocked over section. And yep. Lots of explosions there. Not likely to be just anything around here to help you either, if that was part of the plan. And I guess there is no other wall. Let's decripple ourselves. Although we've got so many packs, it kind of doesn't matter. Like 300 stem packs is a laughably high number. Yep. So Tacoma Park launches you here. You immediately get attacked. There's a Nuka-Cola there. There is this building. Nifty thrifty. I assume in here. Interesting, you have like these percents off sales numbers. Tacoma Park Leaguer cap, that's new. Wow, unique item. Sale, sale, sale. Does definitely feel like there's some artwork here that only exists in this one area.
People of the capital wasteland, it is I, Rydo, your ruler. Hear me and obey.
There's
Oh, sorry. That's that other radio station.
kind of nothing here.
Scheduled program for some news. I've been getting more and more reports of these mercenary maniacs from Talon Company, especially in the downtown DC area. If you see these hombres,
So it's like a staged shop is basically all I can assume this is, but there's nothing in here. You would kind of think that there would be at least a weapon of importance. Well, the hat was here, and that may literally be it. There's not a book, there's not a weapon, and unless I am just missing it completely, there does not seem to be a bobblehead. And I don't think they put bobbleheads that sneakily. And I kind of expect that to be, that building to be there basically so you could dive in there and catch your breath as these guys were attacking you. So map-wise, yeah, we're just going to obviously make it to Tacoma Industrial, and that's it. There's not really going to be anything else here. I wouldn't be surprised if I just wander forward and run into a behemoth super mutant, but there's only a couple of those left in the game. Yep. This might be a case where they really are experimenting with having us go down what is effectively just a death trap of an area by having a ton of explosive cars. Like we are certainly having things explode all over the place. There's a few trees here, so the idea of a park may make a little bit more sense. It would be very weird to come into this and find a human. Let's just force average ones. We have so many missiles. And the dog's gonna get in the way. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like either this is leading towards some scripted element I just didn't play, or I just don't remember playing it. It's still very weird you can activate these parking meters. Or maybe even some DLC. Like that wouldn't be insane to think that I might accidentally be walking towards a DLC section. You see a barricade there, and you would almost expect to see that in a lot of places if that was going to be a concept you threw out there. Certainly would make a lot of sense for there to be just tons of barricades and places where conflict would potentially happen. Alright, well, this is tree, no longer well rested. This might have been an experiment in just higher tree sections. It looks like we've got some Talon Company mercs fighting some super mutants. And you have two paths here that split and then merge for no reason. That's something you see in a lot of games. Is they'll split the paths and then recombine the paths to make it feel like there's multiple options without actually giving multiple options. All right. 2 to that one. And then 2 to that one. Dead bodies in the way. I guess you almost have to assume that dog meat is fairly immune to radiation. And he can swim, which is cool. They have a swim animation for him. Almost certainly this is just going to lead us to another factory. And it's really just no telling what would be in Tacoma International as a factory. It looks like it's potentially just straight up a factory where you would get nuclear material. Either they're getting rid of processing nuclear material or purifying water. And there's a lot of nuclear material for some reason. Also crippled. Alright. While we're here, we might as well Refill our Chinese assault rifle. And repair our armor, which actually needs quite a bit of repair. And then repair our limbs. So there's a door up there. That's probably the doorway in. There might be two doorways in. There's a door over here. Then we've got absolutely nothing in this truck. And we've got a Tacoma Park artillery note. Interesting. Actual quest. Let's read this quest. Notes are over here. Talon Company support Team Bravo to location Tacoma Park. Established position near the parking lot west of the factory and monitor enemy movement. 3 squads will be dispatched once you're in position. Their objective is to retake our old positions in Tacoma Park. Your directive is to provide artillery support when they arrive. The coordinates have been encoded on the switch provided. Call in the strikes once Alpha Squad establish a base of fire outside the blasting range. Interesting. Let's just activate that now. Yep. There is a super mutant behemoth over there. And I just called in artillery strikes on him. That didn't actually hurt him that much. Dog meat got knocked down there and is getting hurt, but not really to any real level. Tacoma Motor Service and Repair. Okay. So I'm questioning how far this map goes, because kind of seems like it just ends here, which is kind of fine also, but definitely feels a little weird. You'd almost expect there to be something secret behind this poster. This might be the only place where that poster exists also. Yep. Looking at the local maps though, does just seem like they needed yet another big open area for the behemoths. I haven't played this game in a little while, so my frustration level on it is not super high at the moment, but it sure once again feels like whoever wanted these behemoth boss battles, which are not bad ideas for any video game to have boss battles instead of not having boss battles, they definitely were not in a coordinated experience though with the rest of the developers of the game. You'd almost certainly expect that you would go through some of these dungeons, and at the end of the dungeon, it would either pour you out to a big open caved area with a super mutant behemoth, or they would have other kinds of boss fights in in their in their dungeons. Because so often dogs in the way. So often we've gone through a dungeon and just found absolutely nothing. I guess we found a book. And I guess we should say the book is all we are going to find in this auto place. Doesn't feel like there's secret panels. Doesn't feel like there's going to be secret doors. Doesn't feel like there's going to be bobbleheads. This is a slightly larger building for something that has nothing in it, but only large enough really to handle the fact that there's a car in the garage. And there was a secret area in one of the previous garages, and it almost confuses the issue. If somebody was telling their friend, giving them help and saying you need to go to the car garage to find this secret area, well, here's a different car garage with no secret area, so you'd have to be more detailed. Although, in fairness, if you're giving your friends advice and you don't know the exact names and locations of things and can't describe it well, they're going to have trouble anyways. So either we have a town person we missed somehow, or the town people respawned. Either one is believable. And I doubt that this is going to be full of like town company people solo that we are going to kill. It does seem like you get XP as long as you get one shot off. So I think the trick here will be to always at least do 1 damage, and then if dog meat helps, good. If he doesn't, whatever. In a lot of ways, it definitely feels like the town company are trying very hard to recover they're trying to recover their position here and simply failed miserably. Which that definitely makes an argument against seeing town company in a future Fallout game. And maybe if you made a prequel, that would then also open you up to the possibility of bringing back some characters that would have been considered fairly weak at this point, but are stronger in the past. Like the Enclave definitely feels like that too, is that you just constantly see remnants of the Enclave, but no real evidence that they exist in any real level. We found the Nuka-Cola Quantum by going through this. But can you even get back up this ladder? Interesting. Well, I got up the ladder, but also all the planks in between it fell down. So clearly that was an interesting experiment in the idea of having more verticality in ladders. So Abraxo cleaner seems to be what they're making, which doesn't really mean much of anything. It's possible that Abraxo cleaner was going to be some element used by super mutants in the gore bags to maybe turn humans into super mutants. Guess that's possible. Certainly would have made a lot of sense to have more of the characters actually be something or do something. We can see if we can activate both of these gore bags via their rope. Yeah, it's not worth it. Door to Tacoma Park up here. We'll come back around through that path. This is one of those factories that's really not, I think, going to be very big. We're going to just wander around and suppose if I wasn't incredibly overpowered, this would potentially be a challenge. I mean, be real hard to not expect it to be a challenge. But the game has failed to appropriately scale. Although in all fairness, I am still playing this on very easy. So, I really am not in a position to complain about the game being too easy or being too hard. Toward the Tacoma Park also. Lying congressional style. We have a couple of those. What is our stats, though, as far as speech? We're at 94, so 2 there, 2 there. And then big guns plus 2. So speech was already at 100. My sneak is at 94. I misread that. And big guns was either is at 100 now or was at 100 before we even started. Yeah. So this door exited us out that way, which means the right path is actually over here. It's not like there's a real danger of going in and out of a building. You wouldn't want there to be a danger of doing that. There is the slight danger, I suppose, of the people, Talon Company mercs, respawning and attacking you. But that's it. Yeah, that is a really small... That's a really small area. And looking at the local map and the world map, I'm thinking we've done all that. Which interestingly may mean, with the exception of La Enfant Plaza, and Riverboat Landing, which is DLC, and the Citadel, which I feel like the main story is going to make us go to the Citadel. Same is true. I feel like the main story is going to move us along. If we could get some flour and some Nuka-Cola, Quantum, and vodka, we could make a Mississippi mud pie. Yeah, Vault 87 I think is storyline related. Rock Raving is storyline related. I do feel like there is probably a couple bobbleheads I've missed, and a couple places where getting the number to get into the National Guard depot I have missed. But outside of that, and we still have this weird can't move the markers on the map issue. Let's see. Game is glitchy. Right. So maybe a walled off section that requires the irradiated metro first. Am I walking in the general direction that would be right? Yeah, I guess I am. Unless it was the metro that we spawned. Yeah. Mylark nesting hole. Let's see if this is something we've been to before. I don't feel like I've been here before, but it'd be very easy to not know for certain. Seems like map-wise, I've probably been here before. Seems oddly easy. Feels like there'd be Mylarks all over this place. Yeah, either this map is filling in way better for some weird reason, which maybe it is, or we've been here before. And we may have just been here before and they respawned a few things. I hope there's an exit on the other side of this and we're not gonna end up some buildings. I think it would also be fairly easy to get lost in this whole place. Seems like there's an implication that a metro at one point, or the bottom of a building at one point, was going to be connected to this whole place. Yeah, I just don't remember ever seeing a building, half cave concept. Probably should have seen more of that concept. It's not a bad concept. If they had merged half of their concepts together, it would have half of the different locations. We've got giant amps that are empty. Yeah. The danger here that I'm definitely seeing is when I see an empty ant. That could be because the game... Oh geez, I think I've just gone full circle. It could be because the game knows I'm so overpowered and overleveled, and as such doesn't particularly care to help me. Here. These guys can actually hurt me? There you go, dog meat. Just kill all the rad roaches. A waste of bullets. I thought these guys had pretty much given up on even attacking me. I do recall running into rad roaches. And there probably should have been more of that happening. Okay. We are going probably the wrong way. Because here we're at the National Memorial section. The Washington Memorial. Alright. Let's check this metro and see if we've actually been all the way through it. Because this could be the path. Metal gate to disposal site L5. Almost seems like maybe that would be a connected area. Well, this looks like a place we haven't been before. So we'll see what this does. This is going to connect the metro area to the more military basement tile set. Would the ghouls have been attacked by dog meat if I hadn't shot first? That's a interesting question. Question I think we'll probably find. Let's just stand here. So the answer is no. And this could be the location that we heard about from one of the characters in the underworld, where they left a bunch of feral ghouls locked in an area. Oops. Managed just to fall through. See, these guys can have... Yeah, I don't know what I did. I was here, then I just walked over it. Interesting. Turret control system. Skip all of this stuff. Remembered. discovered. Had to be it. Okay. Activate turret system. And then you'd expect that this big computer here is supposed to be a replacement for this. It definitely does feel like this is a waste disposal site. Obviously, but this gives you an opportunity to take on some ghouls that really haven't been taking on. Wow, that guy hit me fairly hard. These Reavers are a lot scarier than any of the other characters I normally fight. Two of them in the same room. And in that case, it felt kind of like the glowing one was actually aggroed, not on me, but on dog meat. Is there really platforms up here? Nope, seems like not, there isn't, and it's just go this way. Then you have, I guess, a outcropping here you could have tried to shoot some people from. Blue pass card. Not to be confused with a blue line card. Nope, it is a blue line card. I thought maybe that would have been some kind of key, but I guess the game has been particularly good about not having you pick up pass cards or anything like that. If it is a key, it's called a key. That level of consistency certainly can be appreciated. This might be another area where it's just a lot of opportunity to set yourself on fire. Okay. Seems like if there is going to be anything special, it almost has to be in here. But I'm not seeing anything special. This is just a path that then connects to this path back to where we were. It really just feels like another dungeon. And there is definitely some real chances here. Like, high percentage probability that there's at least 4 or 5 dungeons I just have accidentally walked by, and the map says I've discovered them, but I haven't actually gone in them. The fact that this game does not have any kind of star or boulder highlight of a dungeon once it's cleared, it doesn't even tell you that you've cleared a dungeon, is just a major problem. Yeah. Unless I miss something and there's a whole nother path. And I don't know if it's really worth it to go back and check. It's not that long of a journey, so we'll just go check again, but interesting. Interesting, it puts a symbol when you shoot the screen. I kind of have to assume that that's a visual glitch and not some bigger trick. Because if I had to run throughout several different locations shooting the screens of well, yeah. Ooh. Look at that. We are out of bullets. We're out of MF cells. Well, then we have to fall back to the Chinese assault rifle. I was not really expecting that to happen. We've been dry firing and hip firing, or whatever you want to call it, without using VATS, and even when you are particularly overpowered, that just does not work. Interesting how there's a super mutant on the other side of that area. I guess this is a... Let's see. I guess this is going to probably take us into La Font Plaza, yeah. Yep. And I'm knocking some gore around. Pretty much assume what's going to happen here is we will be attacked by super mutants. Just trying to get somewhere, but I can't even get a clear shot. Yep. As what I expected, that the talent company here is going to be just superficial to the super mutant masters. And it definitely feels like there could have been a scenario where over encumbered because I picked up a bunch of super sledges and other things. Also, ranger armor. Tacoma Park Little League cap, Little Leaguer cap, is +5 explosives, +5 melee weapon, so it's not a terrible hat to potentially wear. Versus plus 1 agility still is better. We still have the glitched menu, so we can't drop things. We could look and see if we have a bunch of garbage, but we can't even drop it, so what does the matter? What's the point of looking? Yeah. It really can't be that much, though. This whole area. Because it's not like this is going to be that special area we're looking for, or any special challenge area. Have some kind of creaky metal sounds, which arguably that would make more sense. There is a little pyramid. So what I'm thinking is, I take that vodka. There's maybe something this way, and then probably something that way. Somebody's shooting me. Here we have an overlord. How many bullets do we have? I have like 5,000 bullets. So we could unload on this guy. Like crazy. But I am going to go through like 5 or 6 clips trying to take on a guy like this. Oh, I'm about to die also. Yep. We've all of a sudden had to start actually paying attention to our life. Super Mutant Master we could take out. I don't know where the Overlord guy went. Look how dog meat is just totally clipping through the other people. So it doesn't seem like this actually goes anywhere. It does just seem like this was a bridge vantage point to seek out their enemies. And apparently I hadn't been shooting at this guy at all, or enough that he didn't start regenerating his health. Which I wouldn't be surprised if they do regenerate themselves. You know what? Even when trying to use the cars to my advantage, I was not able to actually kill him. I did a lot of damage, yeah. I'm stupidly trying to get a overpowered, fully repaired super sledge. Microfusion cells. Get me a few more shots. I assume that I don't need to just jump down here, and that there will be a way to come around and investigate that area a little bit more. Let's see. Is this an entrance to another metro area? It may be a hint at a top of a metro area, or this may have just been some kind of artistic pyramid that I'm just not familiar with, and not being particularly familiar with the DC metro area. That's fairly easy. Oddly, nothing there though. We're seeing more of these signs inside the DC area, which you would have expected to see more of those in the open world. Like they could have been all over the place in the overworld as a way of blocking specific views and wow, there's like 3 of them. Like, yeah, you can block specific views. You could just make the visuals look more interesting. One assumes that these would not all be super mutant masters, and they would just be regular super mutants if I wasn't so highly power leveled. It doesn't feel like this game ever makes the decision to throw 2 lower level enemies at you instead of 1 more powerful enemy. Well, that was not my intention to blow it up, but that worked to my advantage, certainly. Is there something more we can do? I'm a little surprised Dogmeat's still alive. We may find that it's actually pretty difficult to kill him. And all they've got is Chinese assault rifles, which, yeah, it shouldn't have ever really been the case that you could have ended up with a Chinese assault rifle as early as I did. Let's do something here while we're at it. Super sledge. Repair. Tri-beam laser. Repair. Actually, we should make sure we repair everything. I mean, Chinese assault rifle. Right. Let's put some of these weapons that we don't care about in here. Alright, that'll free up our weight issues. This is where we were fighting before. At least I think is where we were fighting before. And the guy was stuck right there. And there's always that possibility that there could be a book or a bobblehead in the overworld, but I suspect no, there isn't actually any possibility of a bobblehead being in the overworld. There could be books in the overworld, but maybe that's not true either. The more I think about it, the more it seems like, yes, in the overworld there's basically nothing that could be found. Well, I guess there are books. I just found one. So books can be in the overworld. Bobbleheads, I think, are always inside. If I was to guess. Nuka Break. And that's not even artwork that we see anywhere else. Yeah. Okay. Over here. We are having to take the low ground. Remember, we have that whole perk that increases our accuracy with assault rifles and VATs. And it's still not really helping. It's a nice consistent amount of damage, but it's not the numbers I would want to see. Again, we need to be careful or we're gonna die. Dog meat seems pretty immortal. I wouldn't be surprised if the game actually, with the DLC and Game of the Year, has created it so that dog meat basically cannot die. But then why wouldn't it fix the puppies perk and just give that to everybody by default, or remove it anyways? Like, I don't think they did fix that, because one of the major questions certainly asked when Fallout 4 was announced was, would your dog companion be able to die, because so many people were upset by the fact that the dog meat companion character could die in Fallout 3. And they directly said no, that they cannot die. The dogs can't die, at least. I don't know if maybe some other companions. And it definitely feels like an experiment on having a much more decorated area. And maybe they went a little overboard with putting up posters. Maybe this was a very early part of the game. Or maybe this was a very late part of the game. This entire posters here that just aren't on the main load screen. Using the word Holocaust is definitely dangerous. Yeah. More posters are appreciated. Certainly. This is getting a little crazy, though, to have every single poster. Madam Jelly's reading room for the discreet gentleman. Okay. So, this is a porn shop. Stim packs. Nothing here. Statues. Creepy statues. We've never seen these creepy statues move. Buff out. Sitting chairs. It would definitely be surprising if it did move. Let's go ahead and pick this. I went the wrong way. Scotch and whiskey and pre-war money. Here you have somebody. A locked terminal. I assume this would probably just open up the safe. Prepared. Brigand. Assigned. Got lucky there. Starting to get that crick in my neck again. Alright, so you have this hula girl. Okay, I'm back. So it wasn't the RAM that was a problem. It was the fact that my power went out that was a problem. So one of the problems, you have to be really careful when you buy a battery backup for like a gaming PC, because like my PC, between the 3 monitors and just the GPU and the CPU and all of that, is probably drawing over like 750, probably closer to 800 or 950 watts at a peak, particularly a peak that would be the transfer over from utility power to battery backup. And what that has caused to happen is a scenario where my battery backup, when it does kick in, has only about 30 seconds before it shuts down the computer. That's all it's got. So yeah, yes, you can get some fairly cheap battery backups, and yes, they can be very useful if you just have flickering of power. Even flickering of power, though, for a gaming PC is not going to cut it. I'm gonna need to spend some real money and buy a 1500 watt or higher battery backup at some point. The good news is you really didn't miss much. I was talking about how this hula girl shows up and yet doesn't really play any role. And the autosave saved us because we went in here. So had the power gone out before then, that would have been a problem. My recording software, open broadcast software, is set up to use Enclave files, which allows for the files to just the OBS to not have to finish the file and close it and save it, and it still is probably going to be recoverable. Not 100% guaranteed, certainly, compared to MP4 files. In fact, it's set up specifically to just turn the MKVs into MP4s after the fact, which it calls remuxing. Yeah, there's really not anything special here. Like, just, this kind of has a speakeasy feel to it, but it more is that 1940s mentality that there would just be a bunch of porn images and porn books in this place, and then they didn't want to actually animate any porn images or porn books, so you get some sexy sleepwear. And then this giddy up buttercup maybe takes on a whole different meaning if you want to look at it that way. Yeah, that does just kind of seem odd. Like, clearly somebody wanted to have a store like that, but there was no real commitment to the idea. At this point, I kind of had forgotten centaurs even existed. You do definitely run into this catch-22 where the more they have... I almost feel like this might very well be a actual, like, one-to-one recreation of something of La Enfant Plaza. Because this is just so much better decorated. There's just little pops of color here and there that make a lot more sense. The Renfant Cafe is a guy just walking right up to the dog, and I'm not even paying attention. We had the one guy who wanted the sexy sleepwear for the Nuka-Cola Quantum Addicted Girl. His kind of raider designs. But almost certainly there won't actually be any live raiders in this area. So I guess that guy with the sexy sleepwear could have been your resident perverted character. But the game just doesn't really want to go in that direction. Even with the lady killer dialogue options that I'm supposed to be getting, I've only used it once or twice in the entirety of the game. It was a huge waste of a perk. Maybe it allows me to do more damage. Well, we had an interesting lock up and freeze there. Yep. Yeah, I've in working on my computer, I've changed and updated so much stuff. I went from not being compatible to install Windows 11, not that I want to install Windows 11, to being compatible. And I don't think I've ever really tried particularly hard to make my PC like super smooth and overclocked and things like that. That's all stuff that an average gamer isn't likely to successfully do, and I don't really have a major desire to overclock my PC to such a high level that it can play games that other people can't play, and then I'm not showing anywhere close to what an average experience for people are. You also run into an issue like Fallout 3 here, where there's no reason why this game shouldn't be buttery smooth. It is certainly fairly certain over a 10-year-old game. If all other things were equal, you would definitely have it run on any modern PC perfectly fine. And it's not, again, like I'm trying to run... Wow, that one just exploded everywhere. It's not like I'm trying to run it at 4K. It's not like I'm trying to record at 4K while running it at 4K. So this is just another high vantage point. So when we see these hit chubs, when we see the fact that the map doesn't let us move the map anywhere, that's the very noticeable and well documented creep of save game corruption that happens in Bethesda engine games. And even if we were to completely ignore all the technical problems of this game that should have long since been addressed by Bethesda, and maybe a remaster of these games now that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft might happen. A remaster really wouldn't be good enough at this point, though. If they did remaster them and put them in a completely different engine and really just got rid of all the bugs, it doesn't fully make up for the fact that we've had to live with a product that is fairly loved and yet fairly mistreated for many, many years. That is one of the things that is nice about... Interesting, just a graveyard here. About the more modern way in which games are being handled these days is you get these remasters and remakes, and you get these ports to different versions of consoles, and so there is much more of a care and love being put on on video games instead of them simply being abandoned to be sold. Steam arguably has been part of the problem as far as how all of this has gone down. Interesting. This is the irradiated metro. We've been to La Infant Plaza, and we're at La Infant. So I guess the question is, there's an office here that I guess we missed. And a shop we definitely went to. Let's see. Capitol Post. We would have kind of walked right past it, wouldn't we have? Definitely makes me wonder how many other times I've accidentally walked past something. Right. Let's go ahead and hack this terminal. Surround. Try that again. Convince. Violence. Evidence. Good chance if it rhymes, it is. Stealth boy. Alright, so you have this like special Capitol Post seal here. We've got some booby-trapped computers. Interesting. So this may very well be the only place that actually tells you what has happened. Hmm. So the UN was disbanded when? European Commonwealth and the nations of the Middle East. Interesting. So maybe this is a case that that the war that the U.S. was involved with was only the kind of a small war in amongst other wars. The copyright here says 2075 though, so you still still seems like they are this is set, these events would have happened later. The resource wars are upon us. The United Nations is needed more than ever. Sadly, the world disagrees. And the UN, this press conference was made by the UN President Sakugama Okiri, which I assume is Japanese and not Chinese, in New York City. And they're talking about a toy retailer, Bumbalo, who seems to be determined to transform the building into their new East Coast superstore. Interesting. Then here's the pint size slasher story that we became the pint size slasher as a ghost story in that simulation. So that's clearly where the people got that idea from. Take some XP to open a door that doesn't need to be. Here we have US to annex Canada. The Chinese invaded Anchorage, Alaska in the winter of 2066. Okay. And that may have led to America annexing Canada. And then no real times here. This again feels like something that would have been a nice demo area. It's talking about some kind of super weapon being invented, but whatever that super weapon was, I don't think was enough. Because it wasn't a quick and decisive victory, obviously. Apparently Alaska's liberated. Who's to say any of these stories are even true, though? And see, they're like naming reporters here, so if you were to do a prequel, you could take these characters that have been hinted at that most people wouldn't even recognize and expand on their story. I don't think there's a book or a bobblehead here. Well, there might be, because we have more to go. I was looking at it and I didn't see this path, so I was thinking, oh well, that's the entire office is just that one room. But Apparently more. We're weirdly getting sound effects of like a dust devil tornado inside, which seems weird. Hmm. And then this is like a printing press machine. And here we have a guy in a white suit named Gibson. So we have Gibson's key, Gibson's scrap of paper. I'll take his whole suit and his head. So maybe there is more story here. Let's read the note. Search the house. Okay. Do we have a clue where Gibson's house would be? Yeah, that's gonna be the problem, certainly. Unless we had a specific place that was labeled Gibson's house. I could only kind of assume that it might be somewhere in Evergreen Mills. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. I know there was that one weird house. Yes, but I don't know where that one weird house is now. It's like they put this little dust devil here specifically so it catches your attention. Okay. There's that shop here. We've been kind of all over the place. The irradiated metro is probably the direction to go. And we got a laser guy, so let's see, one guy, some armor. I don't think I actually need any more armor. They did need a better cooldown on this. It doesn't work well. That every time you potentially walk out of a room, you're in danger of being attacked by random enemies. Okay. Map-wise. World map. We have this irradiated metro, which frankly feels like it might be a way to get into the main story anyways. And kind of feels like it's on the other side of this wall, but the whole thing just doesn't make sense. And then houses wise, well, this is the problem, is that there's a potential house anywhere and everywhere. Like, it could be any house, any direction. The only one that would even slightly catch my eye would be maybe this house, because there is this graveyard. Search party log 1. Let's read that. First time I've thought to update this log since leaving Canterbury. Guard at the Citadel wouldn't let us in, but said a scribe had given Cheryl the medicine at least 2 weeks ago and sent her along to the Rangers. From the sounds of it, Miles didn't make it as far as Citadel. Damn shame, as he was a good mutt. Still no sign of Cheryl. Rumors about the city are true. Place is a death trap, mutants and psychos at every turn. Cheryl's tough enough. Oops. Cheryl's tough enough, but I'm worried, especially with Miles. Missing Emmett just went to pieces the first time we ran into a centaur. We should be able to reach the ranger compound in before sundown tomorrow. Kaya scouted ahead, and it looks like the coast is clear for now. With any luck, Cheryl's holed up with them, and we can start back. Here lies Henry. Muty saw him going for water in the street. There was nothing we could do to help him. If anybody else has to come looking for us, we'll leave ward with the Rangers. Okay, so is that some kind of quest or side quest? Or is that just another thing that will be forgotten about? We do want to go back to the Rangers at some point here. There's a couple places we haven't investigated, but we're really running out of places to investigate. This is a chained gate to the radiated metro. Right, that is where we are. This says we are here. Not here. But apparently we've been here. Probably we went through here, I would guess, and came out here and have now walked to here. That's best as I can figure. Reading the map, I just think the map may be glitched, or I'm just confused. We still run into a lot of dead bodies for not particularly great reasons. It does seem like our perception or something, our map making ability has just gotten really good, so we're now getting somewhere close to something, and then the map starts to fill in very quickly. Possibly too quickly. I assume the doors may be a small indication about whether you've been here or not. Let's see. Radaway. We really need Radaway. Scotch. Conductors. Blood packs, buff outs. Bitchin' batteries. There is like something down there, I think, that the dog is aggroed on. I don't even know what a radio is. Almost feels like the radio should be more often than not hidden somewhere as a way of pulling the player to try and find the radio and try and turn off the radio. I could even see an argument around radios enraging ghouls or noises enraging Mirelurks or something. Interesting. Sunglasses and wrench. Still grabbing useless junk. just to, in an insane bid to own one of everything. Are we even getting XP killing these guys? Yes, we're getting like 2. Yeah. Yeah. Getting very small amounts of XP, but still getting them, so. Another book. This definitely feels like an area where it definitely feels like an area where you could just potentially end up going to a lot of radiated water and then dying from that. Iguana on a stick. I think we need to go back this way first. As long as the radiation doesn't get very high here. But we kind of know there's not going to be anything here either. Interesting. You have someone just sleeping in a bed underground. They really should have thought about not having the need for a bed to sleep, because this is really ridiculous that you would have to add a bed in an area just so the small percentage of people who really care about it get the well-rested bonus to get 10% XP, when there's a decent chance that you don't really need that XP. So that was the radio. Local map, we've looked at everything, so now it's the time to go further. Although, I'm going to take a moment to just take a rat away or two, since we've got plenty of them. We don't want to accidentally die of radiation. Like, ideally, we might want to go a little long today, longer than usual even, to finish up the last couple of out there places and things to look at. Interesting, just like a little barbecue spot. It definitely gives the feeling like these irradiated people would have been raiders or survivors, and the irradiation from the water turned them into ghouls very quickly. There's just no real truth in or real science behind that concept or idea. This is purely fiction, obviously. Sure, people get cancer when they're irradiated, but that is about as close as I've people turning into ghouls. I've no animal changes when it's irradiated at that extreme. Like, I think there have been some studies that have shown certain levels of outside stimulus like radiation have maybe changed certain animals from being male to female as they were in womb, which, yeah, that is still a far cry away from turning into a completely different entity. And I'm sure some people have gotten radiation and had mental changes, but to have both mental and physical changes is too far. So, metal gate to the capital wasteland. Okay. So, where are we now? Boats and bait would be where the main story is. And so now we're just getting sniped by people. Access hall. Interesting. Let's see what's in the access hall. Have we been here before? No. There's just a lot of things that aren't marked in the game, though. Let's see. So this seems like another little dungeon area. Probably isn't that special. Dog meat definitely senses some danger and is growling, and if anything, dog meat is really showing that he's not the best companion because he makes noise. And maybe you don't want noise, maybe you do want noise. It's gonna... Yep. I think because you have that problem of half the players potentially not wanting to play with dog meat, or yeah, that would just be a fall to your death. That's probably why we've kind of failed to have any companions otherwise. Yep. So potentially fall to your death, or come up here and get a missile launcher and kill a couple people, and that's it. Seems very unfinished. Definitely feels like there was supposed to be another building there. Alright. So access hall. Well, not quite to my death. I didn't mean to do that. And dog meat, you're gonna teleport? We came out of over there. I don't think we've been over here. Looking at the local map. So we can investigate this a little bit further and get away from that guy. And then we can fast travel. Which is all we really want. And I can't really read this. What that's supposed to say. I feel like it's supposed to say Big Bertha, but it doesn't really seem like it. Dog meat's health still seems really high. Now we are walking. I guess there is a problem, though, that generally any part of this map that is particularly complicated, like the outer outline of the capital district, like, I could have easily missed parts. I guess that's kind of true anywhere. Alright. Next we have this Falls Church East. Okay. Let's find Falls Church East. Is it in this building? Is it in this metro area? Just another person moves in the way to replace him. Which, yeah, if this was a game with tactics in it, I would be okay with that idea more. Alright. It says Falls Church East. It's basically in this building. So there must be something in this building that I missed. This is just one of those destroyed buildings that maybe had been a school, maybe it was something else. We've now found Falls Church East, which I guess is this building, because sure doesn't seem like it could be anything else. Let's see what's in the LOB Enterprises. Is this where the bombs are created? All employees are required to. These people make weapons. See. They're here, man the doors, the feds are here. So, is this a case of this was some illegal gun running operation? We still don't have the perk, and we may very well never get the perk to dismantle a robot. And so these guys are fairly heavy hitters. So is this gonna somehow be the be a very well guarded area full of weapons? Or are we gonna find one specific weapon and that's gonna be it? Or are we just gonna find a bunch of sentry robots and not much else? Yeah, that one didn't visually glitch when I shot it with a laser. Although I'm not shooting it with a laser, so maybe you have to use specifically laser weapons to shoot the terminals to get that effect. You never did find anybody that specifically wanted plungers. So there's nothing up there. Okay. Let's check and see if these are just bathrooms. Is there something more they could have done with bathrooms? Well, typically in games, bathrooms are the places where you're highly likely to find health stim packs. We do see that. Bathrooms often can be places where there are jump scares. We don't see that. Bathrooms often are undervalued and underdeveloped, and there aren't as many as you actively would have in a real world scenario. We see fairly consistent themes of a lot of drugs being used in bathrooms, which is not unheard of in the real world. So you find a lot of drugs, but we don't see any specific enemy like rad roaches that seem to love bathrooms or centaurs. And there could be more to something like that. This is a fairly large path. Fairly large area. I'm gonna try to be careful. Submachine guns. Milk bottles. So there's like a cafeteria area. So Lob Industries may very well have been the main producer of the automatic weapons, the kind of low quality weapons. They don't strike me as being particularly into building the energy weapons. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a schematic you find in a facility like this. It would have made a lot of sense to find a schematic in every like in every little factory. That could have been the consistent thing. And certainly had this been more of a finished product, it almost certainly would have been the case that every factory would have been specifically labeled as a factory. Every factory would have guaranteed a return of a schematic, and every schematic would have been a really valuable item that lets you take the massive amount of junk that you can find in this game and craft weapons. Even just being able to potentially craft bullets would have been very useful. Alright. Let's look at the local map and see if we're seeing everything. Enterprise's archives and Enterprise archives. Okay. There's ways up and then there's ways down. This is an odd, I guess, utility closet would be the closest thing you'd call it. We still don't find any bobby pins. There's a frag mine. Where is he? Still, I'm not really feeling like the dog meat is helping us much. He's maybe just taking a few seconds off of how long it would take to kill an enemy, which in all fairness, if I had the opportunity to have him with me this whole time, that may have been many minutes of saved gameplay time overall. That kind of saving certainly could add up. Now, having seen how much damage he seems to take, it seems fairly safe that you can just have dog meat with you as soon as you find him. So I would argue maybe just at the very beginning of the game, you go and get him at the junkyard and just play with him for as long as you can keep him with you. Even if I had a schematic that let me convert bullets from one type of bullet to another, that would be really great. Our whole energy weapon desire has fallen apart because, and certainly in some games that can be intentional and make sense, that they would want you to try different guns. I just don't think that's the case here. We still have yet to find anything. Where are we? East Wing, Archives, Falls Church, Enterprise Archives. No, I'm just going to go down here and let's not fire because that will blow us up. So this... Okay, this was the stairs here. Then over here, it's nothing. And then this takes you up. And this takes you to the East Wing. Okay. So we have two things that go to the east, to the archives. And one thing that takes us to the east wing. Otherwise, I think we've mostly looked. So, let's go check out the archives. Looks like there might be a lot of gas all over the place. Is there anything we can do, though? Kind of no. I mean, these guys have too much armor. What one thing we could do is certainly heal ourselves and be prepared to set ourselves on fire. This guy seems like he can fire at me, so let's see what happens when we fire at him. This is a lot of people. And they really don't have lower versions of robots. Over encumbered. Okay. Let's see. What does our local map show us? Okay, well, this definitely feels more like something more than just a simple front around gun running. Like, you don't have this level of security. But then you do kind of run into the problem of this being so overly protected that there's a question as to who was this, who was running Lob Enterprises. Was this the origins of the Enclave or the Brotherhood of Steel? I mean, it would be hard to believe it was the Chinese when we've seen that the Chinese in other facilities were nowhere equipped with robots. Lob might have been a competitor to like Robco. Man, I'm still getting that crick in my neck. This is really, really bad. I don't know how to really fix it either, because it is presenting itself fairly common, fairly often. We are finding Chinese Army spec manuals, which maybe that's the idea that this is Chinese. They once again were doing operations inside of the United States. Getting scrap metal at least. I'm gonna have to go back Make sure I've been everywhere on this map. Which I guess that's fine because we don't want to exit through that door anyways. Just look around. Let's run straight this way, run straight this way, and just make sure we've thoroughly investigated everything. Which clearly I had not. Lots of weapons. So this does definitely feel like the Chinese were staging or preparing to stage an assault in this location. But if the Chinese had these robots, why didn't they use them? Maybe they only had a small number, enough to protect their guns. Or maybe they just had a bigger faith in men with rifles than they did in their robots, which arguably might have been a smart move. Okay. Average level safe, we're up to 18 bobby pins. And nothing special there. Like, we're getting more value out of getting the Nuka-Colas than we are out of safes. It's really ridiculous. What are we expecting to find? Yeah, this is kind of a great example. There could have been a lot of bathrooms like this where they're fairly small and there's just nothing in them. And then these could have been areas where you could have ducked for cover if this was a cover-based game. It really isn't. So there's definitely some weirdness around that idea. I feel like there definitely is a need for some armor-piercing guns or ammo. So, like, if you were going to see a lot more of these guys. Let's see. A lot of junk that you'd almost certainly expect to see a crafting table. Okay. I am here. And there seems to not be any kind of switch or secret panel or door that would open. Nothing seems to open up in the floor. So this just seems like a odd side utility room. And if this game had like randomly generated quests and there were specific key places where you were supposed to, where items could spawn and you could collect them after you've started that randomly generated quest, that would That would work pretty nicely. But it doesn't have any of that, so either you say that would have been a good idea, or you speculate that that was the idea originally.
Attack on hostile
And
target. Law-abiding citizens. Leave area. A law.
like, now arguably, I suppose if you had a game like Fallout 3 or Borderlands and it was just constantly allowing you to keep on playing, that would give such value and such replayability to the player that they may never move to the next game in the series. Of course, Bethesda already should have known that they probably weren't going to come out with another Fallout game for a while. I don't know if they really knew it was going to be over 10 years. I'm fairly certain it was over 10 years without having to look it up. Hmm. So there's a bunch of stuff here. I don't know if any of it is important. Pip OS error 26 file not found. So maybe there's something to this. There was in a main quest. And I'm just here early. Got all these toys. Like a Vault 26 would be a vault from like Fallout 1 or 2. It wouldn't be a vault from Fallout 3. And numbers too low for the DC metro area. Yeah, I want to shoot the guy that's... Well, I guess I can't shoot the guy because he's too close to me. If I had a missile launcher... Actually, do I have a missile launcher? While we're at it. Let's see, missile launcher is damaged. You don't have enough shots for anything else. Well, that would have worked fairly nicely. Of course, my Chinese assault rifle here will also... Dog meat still at full health. It will also start to fall apart fairly quickly if I start dry firing. Right. I can come over here and find that there is something in this desk when there really shouldn't be. I can jump over here. Do all kinds of platforming that really has no business existing in this game. It would have been fairly easy to not program a jump. Plenty of first-person shooter games don't have jumps in them. I could potentially try to use the stealth boy and like sneak up on these guys, but I don't think that would really work. And if I was to get like the special perk that has me do more damage to robots, well, that would be appreciated. We're so close to the end of the game anyways. It's probably not a perk worth taking. Let's see. That's what I was thinking. Is that we are running out of use of our... Yeah, I guess you just have to assume anytime you see one of these ham radios, there's a decent chance that this was a Chinese stronghold. Let's see. This is the CEO's terminal. Let's see. U.S. flag, paperweight, a lead paperweight, 450 of them, and a throw rug, retardant, which almost certainly implies that the paperweight is... Now I have a CEO key. Like, so whatever secrets happening here we'll, I think, find fairly quickly. I suspect the lead paperweights are actually bullets. And here we have a jute box, which you don't see a lot of those. So that was his key. I'm about to be dead. I almost considered using the super sledge as an item. Alright, well, laser rifle wouldn't do much damage, but laser pistols would. But yeah, it isn't doing enough damage for anything. Bobby pins. This is just like a bathroom. Executive bathroom. There's nothing in the foot locker. Paperweight in the trash. So if there was supposed to be a rug or something here. Secure case. Hey, we've got a new weapon. Alright. So what's so special about this named weapon? It hurts you, and it does only 12 damage. Yeah, that seems like a pretty awful weapon. Right, I'm gonna see what we can get rid of. Frag mines. We may get stuck using the laser pistol. We don't really need to hold on to a laser rifle. We don't need to hold on to 2 super sledges. These outfits we can get rid of. And what else can we get rid of? A whole bunch of blood packs. A whole bunch of dirty water. Get rid of the stealth boys. Get rid of the wine. Get rid of the camera. Get rid of the fission batteries. Cigarettes. Paperweight. Teddy bears. And wrench. Well, start us. We found the weapon, so it almost seems certain that we won't find a bobblehead. This dog can't even find where the robot is. Research and delivery, research and development terminal. Okay, anticipating. Well, disappearing. Ooh. Organization. I'll have to try that again. Yeah, if Robco Industry makes the robots and Lob is the Chinese thing, I feel like they're doing this the stereotypical L and R joke by calling this Lob instead of Rob. Conversation. Appreciation. It is TIN. Organization. We're about to level 26 by ourselves. Let's see. ZRIN. It's gonna be a flame projecting gun. Which, yeah, I guess if maybe there was a side quest here where there was named guns that would shoot fire. in that there was several different types of guns that might be interesting.
Hostile detected. Commencing
Hmm.
neutralization.
But I suspect that's not what's really going to happen here. I suspect that this is the only named gun we're ever going to find. And that'll just be that. And because it's so incredibly weak, there's not going to be any way I could ever use it. I question what enemies would even be particularly weak to fire. It doesn't feel like the robots that we're fighting right now would be particularly weak to fire. That would be kind of silly. Where are we as far as the internal map? Yep. We may just be going in circles to leave here. A lot of collapsed paths. What we're not getting is a story that implies super mutants were created by Lob Industries. Alright. See how this works. There you go. So it does engulf it in flame to no real avail. Yeah, I really have to power armor, power helmet. There's no way I'm going to be able to carry that with us for very long. But I do need to go back to Megaton fairly quickly anyways. Oddly, that did kind of feel like fire. May have had more damaging effects than I thought it would. There is the next question, certainly. Can I handle losing 2 health per second? Probably. I'm so overpowered in every other way. If I can't handle it, I don't know who could. But I really have to question whether or not this was a gun that would have only made sense if you had run to pick it up very early in the game and then used it quite a bit throughout the entire game. This is just same old, same old. Still a lot of visual glitches going on. A lot of nothing. It would have been so nice to not have to search these things. And you practically don't have to search them. You'll not miss out on much. Bottle caps and ammo limitations and kind of cap limitations are going to be your main concerns. Right, so have we looked everywhere? Yeah. Save still. PipOS error 26 file not found. So supposedly there's turret sentries somewhere around here. I didn't see any of them. Wasn't looking upward though. Okay. Well, it seems like that's all there is to this whole map. Can we get out of here efficiently? That we don't want to go down there. Probably want to go this way. Yeah. And yeah, this way. Okay. So that was Lob Enterprises. What were we looking for? Falls Church East. So I think we pretty much found it. And so this is in an area that's fairly difficult to access. It's not just out there. Trying to look at the local map and see if we've seen everything. Office building, office building. Yeah, I think we have seen everything. Okay. How much weight do we have? About 30 pounds. I'm just going to have to assume we've seen everything. What I wanted to find was that minefield area. And that was Megaton. That sent me in a weird direction. Not Andale, not Tenpenny Tower, not Warrington Station or Warrington Train Yard, not the Dunwich Building. Not Evergreen Mills. It's gotta be this, I think. Slaver? Raider. Raider. Interesting. I don't know if I'm in the right place. I don't think I really am. You would think that these people being set on fire would like take major damage. You can see that they are slowly taking damage, but it's too slow. And there was a slaver somewhere, but I feel like that slaver just walked away. See, this guy actually, I think, won't attack me. I think he'll just crouch in fear.
Call a doctor, we got a bleed.
Alright. So they can't de-aggro, really. Good to know. Or they can kind of de-aggro, but not to any real extent. Harifu. Where is Millfield? I think that's the name of it. Was either to run Springvale School. You know what? Let's go to Springvale. Like, we've done so much, and we've always wanted to find, like, what's the deal with this shelter door. We still don't have any answer there. Alright. Jury Street Metro Station. How far can the local map really go? I don't think it can zoom out that far. Let's see. Fast travel to this power station. And then try to zoom out on the local map, and it's not really going to show me anything. There's the last guy. Yep. And let's see if we can maybe repair some things now. I may just have too much. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to just look up the location I'm thinking of, because it is somewhere odd, somewhere that I've been to, but I don't remember where it is. Unless it is just directly in like Fairfax Ruins. No. Fairfax Ruins would not be it. We haven't actually gone into Fort Independence, even though we could. Evergreen Mills is way too far. Unless it was somewhere over here. But it really couldn't be over there either. Oh, there it is. Enemies nearby. Okay. Finally found the minefield. It's somewhere. I just saw it. Here it is. It's in a completely different place than where I thought it was. So we had the guy that said search the house. And this is Gibson's house. We saw this a very long time ago. And inside this we had a model of the home. Now we can use that key. And inside of it is some buff out, some junk food, and some pre-war money. Pathetically small reward. Pathetically small. Like, insanely, stupidly small reward. And that doesn't lead me to anything more. Unless there's some other secret thing. Wonder if sugar bombs were there originally and I just didn't grab them. Although I don't even know why I'm really collecting sugar bombs. Yeah, you would have expected that would have had at least a gun in it. Some named gun. The connection of the minefield. Like, we had already picked a safe, so maybe the key would have opened the safe. So maybe there's... Who's in his bed? I wonder if Gibson was headless. I guess that was somebody else, unless... Yeah, I mean, it has to be somebody else, obviously. Yeah, the only thing I could think is maybe somehow this blood leads all the way from this point to where we found Gibson somewhere around here. Nah, it doesn't make any sense. There's just no reason why this would be connected to that at all. So yeah, I'm still assuming that the Citadel has not is not a place we can reach. Riverboat landing and going inside of Fort Independence are kind of DLC things, and we want to try and keep those separate. Everything else I think is main story related, so good news is we can pretty much wrap this up, and starting with the next recording it'll just be doing the main story for a while. Let's see. Let's come in here. Let's see if we found any bobbleheads. No, we hadn't. There still are 4 of the lesser important ones available. I think we probably have hit a point where dog meat might as well just be left here. Yeah. He's not super annoying, but he's a little annoying as a character. So we'll just leave him at the house, nice and safe. Alright, now, weapon-wise, we have 2 laser guns we can't use. We have 1 gun we can't use because it's not doing enough damage. We need to think about either doing a big gun with the Gatling laser or something else, weapons-wise. Well, Chinese assault rifle, first of all, we can just sell the other one. We've got so many of those that are high. Burn Master is a consideration. Fat Man's a consideration. Laser pistols. Consideration. Minigun. Missile launcher. The rocket launcher that shoots junk was supposed to be a weapon that you were supposed to use all the time, and we never really did. Let's go and sell one super sledge. You know, it wouldn't be terrible to take this gun with us either. Vengeance. Alright. And then power armor we'll just drop. That, and that. Okay. Now, weapons. Vengeance here is better than the Gatling laser, so we hold on to that. Rocket launcher can't be repaired. Missile launcher can be repaired. Minigun can be repaired. Laser pistols can be repaired. Batman's can be repaired. Burn Master. Okay. So which weapons do we want to keep? Burn Master could burn people, but it's not a distance gun, so we're just never going to use it. Fat Man with the mini nukes. We'll hold on to that. Laser pistol we'll hold on to, but we'll never be able to use it. Minigun that does 77 damage is a consideration. Missile launcher is not really a consideration. Rocket launcher is not really a consideration. So I think we stick with Sydney's and Vengeance, and then we sell the rest of these. Right.
Good morning, madam.
Ah, man, this guy is just completely in the wrong place. Always. Do we have any garbage that we want to put away? Metal spoon. And that's it. And then do we have any aid stuff that we want to put away? Junk food. Feels like you only get junk food a couple times in the entire game. But all the Nuka-Colas, all the Nuka-Cola Quantums, all the purified water, all the sugar bombs, and the vodka. We'll make the Mississippi mud pie later if we remember, which odds are low that happens. Okay. So let's turn into scrap metal and potentially level up. And then I'm just going to go turn in the Geomancer module. Like, we've seen all but a few places, and with well rested, I'm almost certainly going to make it from level 26 straight to just level 30.
Huh? Yeah.
Let's see. For as much as you have to talk to this guy, it's kind of ridiculous that he has that intro
Well,
mumbling. It's another thing that you almost certainly would have run into during QA testing is that both Moira and this guy have what start off feeling like they're trying to be comedic, but they don't really hit a level of comedy that interests me.
What do you need?
Right. And sell that. And that. And that. And that. And that. And that. Alright. And meanwhile, we will buy not weapons, not apparel, all your stim pack, medics, and red. Might as well buy all that. Don't have any real reason to buy any of that stuff. That's a pretty good trade, I suppose.
Good hunting. Remember.
Right. So now it's just like down to, do we want to use the Chinese assault rifle for 53 or this gun for 61 or this for 185? I think we'll use this. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we need to do. Let's fast travel to the Ranger compound. Riley's Rangers. Now, Donovan died. So he randomly died, pointless death. So we might want to talk to people and see how they are responding to that. We haven't done much with these characters.
Hey there. Got anything good for me?
There you go. We're still well rested. What's been happening since you've been back? What's the deal with the Talon company? I have some mapping data for you. This potentially will get us to the max level.
Excellent. Let me offload the data and I'll be glad to pay you.
She gave me 2,880 caps. Oh, was that not an XP stuff? Was that just caps?
Feel free to roam around. You're quite welcome in my place.
Donovan's dead. We may not have any way to tell her that. It may just be that Donovan is dead and it didn't mean anything.
Welcome back to... Well, all right, you're back. Now that you're part of the team, Riley's her old self again. We've been vaporizing hostiles like there's no tomorrow. Kick some muty ass for me, kid.
Riley keeps talking. You made it. Great. Need patching up? If you...
So, yeah. Her hips swing quite a bit. Like, she would have been kind of a great companion. So I guess Donovan's just dead. And I was wrong about whether I was going to get XP for turning in the modules or not. Because I definitely didn't. That does change things a little bit. Not by too much. We still, with all the DLC, almost certainly will get to max level 30. I can't imagine not doing that. It's kind of a shame that in this recording we didn't level up once even, but you know, if the second I go and there's apparently several quests here. Join the scientists at Project Purity is the main quest goal. This whole search log didn't start any other quest either. Yeah, as soon as I move the main story forward, I wouldn't be surprised if I immediately get a 300 bump in XP. So there definitely are some things we haven't done yet besides just the main story. We missed probably a couple bobbleheads, but I'll just get those at the end of the game almost certainly, or after the main story is completed. We didn't get all the codes to get the National Guard depot. We have been everywhere that is marked on the map, and we took the perk that marked everything on the map with the exception of a few places. There's basically no reason to go back to any place we've been. I could, like, well, let's try this. There's one thought. Fast travel this way and take all the vodka, flour, and Nuka-Cola quantums and Nuka-Cola with us. And then rest, and then fast travel somewhere else. Okay. So this would be way too much weight. And I think ice cold Nuka-Colas will take like 50 of them. Then we'll take these and these. We never found out what the deal with Paradise Lost was either. Vodka. May not have any flour. I may have just never picked up flour. Now, can I fast travel out of this location to Garter Shade? No longer well rested, you're now well rested. Interesting. Garter Shade, where are you? There you are. Does he have any flour? Like, where would you even find flour? This guy's dead, by the way. We found him dead, but you still lose karma if you would steal something from him for some weird reason. Okay. Let's talk to her.
Come back to visit. Hiya. What you doing back here?
Let's see. Do you know someone named Grady?
Nope. Oops. I need some flour to make the pie, sweetie.
Yeah, we don't have any flour. We'll give him the quantum.
You do? You darling. Well, as always, I'll be glad to take them off your hands. And now that my machine is full, I can drink these to my heart's desire.
So I gave her 42 Nuka-Cola Quantums and got 2,000 caps for it. And interesting, I don't feel like this was here before. Yeah. See, this is definitely the type of character you would have wanted to meet up with a lot earlier in the game. It's silly that she's way in the wrong place.
Engaging hostile.
I guess now that we know we aren't going to get XP from a lot of these quests, we are back to grinding a little bit more than I thought we would have had to. See if this is the right place to give the sugar bombs to the guy, so we can get some ultra jet.
Keep it moving, meat. Get away from me, smooth skin. Oh, come on. Pay more attention to what you... So, what did you bring me?
Let's see.
Excellent. Keep it coming. So, what did you bring me?
Let's see if we can buy some ultra
Yes.
jet.
Yeah, as soon as you bring me some more sugar bombs.
Interesting. This is so slow.
Do what you gotta do.
So we should have just given him 22 sugar bombs. Gave me 330 caps for it.
So, what did you bring me?
And so I can buy 2 ultra jet for that.
Another satisfied Yep.
That seems like a pretty terrible deal. So what this is really proving is that the idea of holding on to things and just having a huge collection of items is, it's just kind of pointless. It's just not there at all. The only other thing I could do, and it's kind of pointless to even do it also, would be to go for even higher karma, but I think my karma may very well be at the max already. And I just don't think that there's a value in potentially like killing everybody in the entire game, or just like killing everybody in Megaton.
You've done. Bless.
Like that. Yeah. And sure, I suppose if the scenario were slightly different and I didn't have the perk that gave me extra extra money, then I could see needing to play along with these games.
I hope things are going well for you today, madam.
Let's see. Let's put these pre-war books away. Scrap metal. All 8 pre-war books. May not be really worth it to even hold on to the Geomapper module at this point. Yeah, I think we get rid of it for one weight. We're down to that point where even one weight is enough. We have that alien power cell, 14 of that. Yeah. So the only other thing I can even think of is, I think in Little Lamplight, when we get the story going forward a little bit further, there's a kid that wants Nuka-Cola. So we could possibly give Nuka-Cola. Again, we may very well just get money for that. There is, of course, the train tunnel into the Pitt DLC. There are these signals that lead, I think, to one DLC. There's... oh, I don't remember what Clifftop Shacks even was. There's not really too much else. We have maxed out the game, and it is time now to wrap up the main story and be ready. So, yeah. Just go through here, and we'll make a special save. And this Waters of Life quest, for some reason, seems to put me at Wilhelm's Wharf. I don't know why the quest would put me at Wilhelm's Wharf, when clearly it's just right there. Maybe there was supposed to be a walking section of Wilhelm's Wharf. Guess we could go check. Like, last thing we want to do is miss content, since there's so little left. And this character's... she's nothing. She's just a shopkeeper that was named. Yeah. By the looks of it, there should be some people standing up here just waiting for you. And there aren't. Yeah. So yeah, I just have to assume that that's glitched. Unless there was some reason that they wanted us to go specifically into the sewer grating. And that was just something that the story told us to do a long time ago. Alright, well, let's leave it at that then. Hey, there are people there, even. So, yeah. Next episode, we move the main story forward, depending on how long the main story really is. There could be 3 or 4 episodes specifically just on pushing the main story forward, and then that would be the end of the main story. And then when we start doing DLC stuff, we'll probably try to do the one DLC that is the shortest first, and then we'll just try and do some other DLC. But yeah, we are trying to, at this point, squeeze every drop of entertainment out of Fallout 3, and it's probably not the right way to play a game like this. anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.